we're here at Gunners, Firearms with Maggie, again, and okay, so you got every year for the last 3 or 4 years, you've had millions of new gun owners.
Yeah.
And every year you get new gun owners, but just there's that giant boost in 2020, and then it's just trickled down since. And there's been a lot of reports out there of like anti-gun people buying guns. And so as somebody that's selling guns, how often do you get anti-gun people? Because you're just kind of talking about how they like to stick their toe in the water.
All the time. Daily.
Really?
Daily. Multiple times in a day. And
what's that look like? Like they're like, I hate these guns. How much is that one?
No.
Okay. What's
it looks like, well, I'm just looking. It starts out with, I just want to see what this is about, what it's like to walk up to a gun counter. I know it's my right to own them. I know I'm squeaky clean on paper. I can pass a background check. I'm not worried about any of that, but I just want to look at them. I just want to see them. And a gun counter usually is a really nice place to just look at guns. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a range attached to the gun store, like this place here, there's no loud noises, no firearms discharging, so you don't get any of the loud volume. But it starts with people just like, I don't know about this. Can you tell me a little more? Or if they finally find something that catches their eye, can I see it? And then they want to get their hands on it and maybe hold it. That's the next step. Put it in their hands maybe. And sometimes they'll be like, okay, all right, and then they'll set it back down. They won't check the slide, they won't check the trigger, they won't drop the magazine or anything, or it looks like somebody that maybe has gone through a couple of YouTube videos and, okay, I've narrowed it down to these, what can you tell me about them? And you can tell people that haven't handled firearms.
Sure.
You really can, and it's not a bad thing at all. We all started there. Do not let anybody ever tell you that you're going to wake up and know everything about firearms, and do not let anybody on either side of the counter make you feel bad for what you do not know, because you will not know everything there is to know out there.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you had, because it's one thing to come in and kind of be uncomfortable. You know, it's like, I've never touched one of these. I've always kind of been skittish of them. You ever get people that are like, oh, I always said I'd never own one of these, and here like that kind of thing, you know? Yeah, well, there's one.
Hi, my name's Maggie. It's nice to meet you. I never, ever, 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 ever thought I would own firearms. I never, ever, 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 ever thought I would enjoy firearms. And let me tell you, never comes around in the blink of an eye. It really does. So to that point, the more information you have, the guns don't scare me. It's us.
Yeah.
We're the scary ones. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in my life. I'm not clairvoyant enough to know these things. But I know that now that I own firearms and that I have a confidence and a competence level, I have passed some classes on firearms as well. I have done some shooting competitively with some local gun clubs, and I have been around people that own and appreciate firearms, and I can tell you that there are so many people willing to answer tough questions. And God bless our families so much, but sometimes we don't always listen to what they have to say. And if you can refer your family member to someone else that might know more about firearms, or that helped you with knowledge in firearms, then maybe that's who you should recommend those people to talk to. Like, okay, I know you're not comfortable having these conversations with me, but why don't you check out, why don't you go here and talk to this person? Or why don't you just 2 doors down, your neighbor over here, your neighbor Bob, your neighbor Gary, your neighbor, this neighbor over there, your favorite neighbor across the backyard from you. Have a conversation with them on it and what they think, and you might be surprised, because once those people do get their first firearms and start to get a little more knowledge and comfort level with it, the next thing is how surprised you will be at how many other people that you never thought in a million years would own firearms, and oh look, they have guns too.
Yeah.
So it's really
I think the one that really surprised me growing up is when I realized my grandmother, after my grandfather passed away, I was too young. I don't know what kind it was, but I remember just hearing that she bought a .357 Magnum. I thought, go grandma.
Yeah.
Go grandma.
What's grandma afraid
Go
of?
grandma.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, that's interesting. I actually, even as you were talking, I kind of even wondered, like, how, because what you really have is you have this country where I would argue you'd be foolish not to have a gun on you in this country. You know, there's other places in the world I know you can go where it's not so, you know, gunslinging Wild West like as America seems to be lately. But I would argue you'd be foolish not to have a gun on you. And it seems like even anti-Second Amendment people, they have to see that too, you know, and that's why I think there's so many millions of them every year being like, well, I'll still, you know, maybe not love them, but I'll get one.
I'll consider it. I might sit in the same room as somebody that owns firearms, and you know, it's just baby.
And maybe
steps.
I'll go into the store and look.
And maybe,
but I won't touch one.
No,
'cause I said I'd never touch a gun.
That's right.
Yeah. Can I see that one right there?
That really. This one's
how it
kind of.
goes.
It really is. It starts out. This one's kind of pretty. I like this one. This one doesn't look like everything else.
This one doesn't scare me so much.
Exactly. Some of these, they look a little on the creepy side. But that one with
that wall of black guns, I don't, but what's this pink one? That's shiny.
I love the Ruger Anniversary Mini 14. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If somebody, like, here's firearms that work on a 5.56 platform. Here's an AR-15. Here's a Ruger Mini 14. Dang, that Mini 14 looks so classy.
Well, that AR is scary.
It is. AR is super scary. But
well, that's interesting because it's funny. I've done a few videos on, you know, the people secretly buying guns. You know,
well, they do on the daily.
On the daily, just fascinating.
On the daily, and it's nice to be the trusted person on our side of the counter, the trusted
and
store.
You've been down their path too. How great is that? It's always better to be with somebody that's like.
I wasn't like my cousin. My cousin, he's loved firearms from a very, very, very early age. He is hardcore into history. Same with my brother, my little brother. And these boys, they're all about it. I mean, the history, the stories, everything on it.
All right. Well, hey, again, thank you, and we'll just keep chatting.
Heck yes. Until next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.